Bonjour, brought to you by Safaricom, a proud sponsor of Team Kenya at the Olympics.
Well, hello there, and thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Bonjour. We are outside the Stade de France, and Elias Makori, the medal tally is increasing day by day, but not at the speed that we would have wanted.
Exactly, you know, people are expecting another gold in the steeplechase, which was a very tall order. I mean, it was a bruising and grueling race. And, you know, at the end of the day, El-Bakali experience counting his finishing kick. Abraham Kibiwott getting a bronze like he did last time at the World Championship. So for him, he almost got there. There's just something that was missing. So the wait continues for the steeplechase gold.
Now, why we are saying the wait is we have to give a bit of history. If you think about it, Kenya has dominated the steeplechase from 1984 to 2016. That is almost 28 years. And then 2020, who's the man who came and spoiled the party? The man who won tonight, Soufiane El-Bakali.
Siku ya leo niko na furaha. Sikuwa nafikiria naweza pata bronze medalist kwa Olympics, but I'm so happy. I thank my family. Nashukuru kwa my federation Kenya, coaches, athletes wenzangu, familia, my manager. Kila mtu mwenye aliniombea.
That hiatus will continue for another 4 years before we win another Olympic gold since 2016 when Consensus Kipruto won it.
Actually, we've won it all through, because if you look back 1968, Amos Biwott winning. Again, we defended it in Munich 72. We didn't win in 76 in Montreal and 80 in Moscow because we didn't participate. There were, you know, boycotts by many countries, including Kenya, politically instigated. Then again, like you say, 1984, all the way until this gentleman called El-Bakali, he's come to spoil the party and he's not in a hurry to leave.
And you think about it, if you look at history, there's even, I think, twice where Kenya finished 1, 2, 3 in the men's steeplechase.
Yeah, it was, you know, Athens.
2004.
The era of Bremen, Kipruto, Richard Matelong. We had
and even Sang, I think there's a time Sang was part of a trio that won 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Patrick got silver in, you know, it was in Barcelona, I believe, in 92. He's now the coach of Eliud Kipchoge. So it has been a Kenyan tradition. But again, like many other races, you know, things are changing. Other nations are catching up. They are getting better techniques, better coaching, perhaps. Like the US, I mean, the US almost.
I did not expect the American.
Yeah, they're changing. I mean, they're changing the training methods, and they're training right in US. Not so many of them are coming to Kenya like before. So we really need to wake up. Our coaches need to wake up and you know, smell the coffee and look at what is happening.
Hatuko tunajua from leo nimechua kumbe kila mtu anaweza win Olympics, so kwa siku nafikiria kama America anaweza kuwa number 2. Mimi nilikuwa akili yangu ilikuwa kuchunga hao watu wawili. So sinajua Sofia na Krima.
The others are catching up and it's no longer a Kenyan tradition, the steeplechase.
Indeed. But so far, Kenya has 5 medals after the bronze that was won in the men's steeplechase. But it was a very, very entertaining final, especially in the last 400 meters, because Girma, the Ethiopian, he was the world record holder. He was the one who was leading in terms of time. So the focus was on the Ethiopian, the focus was on Soufiane El-Bakali and the Kenyans who were there. But no one expected the American.
He just kicked, and like I was talking to Abraham a short while ago, he said he didn't expect him to come. And now the Olympics is a competition where anybody can show up. It happened in the 1500 meters, America again surprising everybody. But it was a shocker because Girma was at position 2 by the time he fell, and he was just beginning his kick.
Kwa 400 ya mwisho, so nilikuwa na chunga hao watu wawili, nilikuwa najua hao wako strong kwa 400 meters. So nilifanya calculation, but nilikuja nikaenda nikarealize kama niko 200 kama America ameshaenda. So nilijaribu kumfukuza, but sikufanikiwa kumpata. Yes.
And ironically, I was spent almost a whole morning in Addis Ababa at a training camp where they were, you know, training on how to go over the barriers, and the barrier let him down. It's ironic that they trained so hard for it and it just went wrong. The last 200 meters to go, I think Girma it will have been an interesting finish had he stayed up. I hope he's doing well. He went to the medical, so we're just wishing him well.
Base nilifurahia, so tulienda kwa group, tukaongea na hao wa Kenya, tulikuwa tunaongea tukienda. Kocha alikuwa ananiambia tuende, nikamwambia bado tu relax tungoja hao wawili. But kumbe hata tungejua tungeshaenda mapema.
Now let's shift gears and focus on other athletes, and Ferdinand Omanyala, he competed in the men's 100 meters. Of course, his dreams, Olympic dreams, died in the semi-final, but I think for him, he has a lot to reflect on, because it almost feels like there's just a glass ceiling that he's not able to penetrate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's good the way he handled it. Of course, after the race, he was a bit in, I mean, he'd gone to an all-time low, didn't speak to us in the media, but then again, he came up later.
You can only imagine the mental state he was in.
Yeah, we understand. Point. I mean, when athletes get into that kind of situation, when they don't talk to us media, we understand, because, you know, they've invested 3 years, 4 years into this thing, and then just when it matters most, that final moment doesn't work out. It was a good build-up for him, so now it's just about carrying himself, recovering and getting onto the Diamond League circuit, Continental Tour circuit, and doing it all over again, all the way to the World Championships in Tokyo next August.
And obviously his coach as well, Geoffrey Kimani, he changed coaches in the build-up to this year's Olympic Games. There's been interesting mixed reactions regarding that change of tactician, because some would say, look, you had somebody who had taken you to this level, but obviously for Ferdinand Omanyala, he wanted to go to the next level.
Yeah, and in Geoffrey Kimani, he found somebody who understood. Geoffrey was a sprinter, did his training in US, coaching, strength and conditioning. And it was actually going very well this season, because I remember Ferdinand saying that you know, the problem has been he has been peaking too early. When it comes to the summer, the time of a World Championship, Olympics, is past the peak. So this year he picked up slowly. He was 5th in Cape Keno Classic, I think he ran 10 something. That didn't bother him, because he knew he shouldn't have been at his peak in April when the Cape Keno Classic was going on. He just needed to build up slowly from the indoors, and then when it comes to the Stade de France, he'll have hit the peak. But body-wise, physically, he was okay, but it was just a bit of a mentor. That's why I was saying we need psychologists in the team.
The weekend didn't go as we planned, because of course we wanted better. Of course, it's okay to feel disappointed and, you know, just like tell yourself you did not do your best. But, you know, it's the sport, it's a championship, and things go either. I mean, day 1 was great, the hit was okay, day 2, let's just say it didn't go away, but you know, it takes time for you to get a world medal, because I've done a Commonwealth, I've done an African, but I really want a world medal. But, you know, sometimes it all comes down to how relaxed you are, you know, like, you know, when you get to a point where it's a semi-finals, you tell yourself, I need to push harder. But what you need to do is just be relaxed, like just do what you always do. So that's one thing that I'm still learning, and I'm sure when you get to the next championships, I'm sure it will be great, because I'm pretty sure it's in me. The times are in me. I just like, the most important thing is just like how to execute it and bring it out. So I'm sure that time will come.
I didn't go as it was planned. Whatever happened to Ferdinand, all comes down to me as a coach. Is a technical issue that we need to look into. So it's on to the next one. That's what we do. Unfortunately, we had really prepared so well for this season. As you are aware, Ferdinand changed coaches, so he's into a new coaching system. So many things that we needed to get right for him, physically, and of course even mentally and tactically, understanding how to run the race. A lot of lessons we've learned that we need to adjust.
I was really excited to be that semis, because these are guys that are all of those guys in that lineup. I've beaten them before. I've beaten Thompson, I've beaten Kali, I've beaten DeGrasse, I've beaten Hughes. I've beaten all these guys. But, you know, like I said, it's about how you execute that race and how you go in there. You know, you don't need to push harder. You need to do it in a very relaxed position, because I think that's something that I really miss there. But
so you were not relaxed
per se, because you see, you know, getting out of the blocks, I got a very fast reaction time of the blocks, and then I feel like it was a bit tight. I was a bit tight, because I'm used to, like, you know, get off the blocks and just jump out and be ahead of these guys. But this time it was a bit like I never got those fast steps really how it's supposed to be. And you know, ending up now you want to push harder, but then pushing harder makes you tighter. So I think I just need to learn how to, like, control my race and tell myself, relax, it's okay, we still have like 80 meters to go, you'll catch up. So that's one thing that I need to be reminding myself every time.
It's when we sat with him after the race, we had a very nice post-race talk between him and the manager, and the family was here. We talked to Fadi, and it's like there's two ways you can run a 10.08. In the heats he ran a 10.08 very easily, and it looks very nice, and we were happy with that. And then in the semis, he ran the same 10.08, but even when you go back to the numbers, it was quite tough. I think he tensed up. Everybody saw it. If you look at the numbers that he cleared with the 30 meters, clearly there was some aspect of tensing up in that race. For a sprinter, you don't do that. We need you to run as fast as possible when you're relaxed.
Everything happens for a reason, and everything happens for good tiding. So I'm just like, everything will be fine. And one thing I'm sure is I've inspired a lot of people, generations. I've inspired a lot of people, generations, and I'm continuing to inspire them. So I'm never giving up, guys.
So it's a matter of looking at what we need to fix. And you know, we are talking about the outdoor, because we've already run a championship in the indoors. We ran the world indoors, and he did considerably well. So it's the outdoors that we need to unlock and find out how many of these races do we need to run, and at what proximity should those races be before the major championship. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I have some races lined up. Next week we're going to Austria to do the race, and then after that we're doing Rome Diamond League, and then we're doing Zagreb Continental Tour Gold, and then we'll finish with the Diamond League finals. I mean, we still have races to go, so the most important thing is to bounce back.
One thing I've come to appreciate when it comes to competitive sports is the fact that the mental ability is an athlete's mental health is the most important thing over and above your skill set, because you can have all those skill sets, you can train hard, but mentally, if you're not in a state at your optimum, it's very, very difficult to perform on your optimum, at your optimum as well.
Yeah, we saw what happened to Simone Biles in Tokyo during the Olympics. She just could not, put herself together. She walked out of the Olympics. She accepted first that she had, an issue to do with, mental health, got around it, and you see, she's won 7, 8 gold medals.
Yes,
already.
She's dominating.
Yeah,
really.
She's dominating. So, I mean, once you get physically back in sync, then it becomes easier once your physical condition is good.
Now, Elias, I know the Olympics are still going on, but remember, Paris will be hosting another major championship immediately after the Olympics, and the Kenyan contingent is now preparing. Of course, they are upping the ante in terms of the preparations. Now, Safaricom has plugged in once again to support Kenyan sportsmen and women, and they're showing their support once again for the Paralympians, who will be coming to Paris for the Paralympic Games.
Excellent. We always forget the Paralympians. Once the Olympics is over, once that Olympic flame, and we need to go and have a look at it before we go. It's somewhere floating. Once it's extinguished, people forget about the para. But the para athletes end up, performing even better. This year, I'm sure Team Kenya in the para will do better. They had a federation of the Kenya National Paralympic Committee, a new team in charge. Coach Kirwa, I know he's been doing a lot of work in Kapsabet with the athletes. They are coming here to Paris, I believe, next week. So they'll have a training camp north of Paris, about 1 hour, 40 minutes from here. The first time ever that they're having a pre-Paralympic training camp, thanks to Safaricom. That kind of sponsorship, really comes in handy. And I can assure you, I'm willing to bet that they might get more gold medals than the team that is in the Olympics.
We're very proud at Safaricom to do 2 things today. First of all, we've gone through a session of media training as well as financial literacy and acumen. The whole intention is to how do we empower our athletes, one, how they speak and represent themselves and the country, and 2, financial planning and literacy, so it can help them with the skills around managing their finances, managing their capabilities going forward. The second thing we've done is we've given our check as Safaricom and our support. So we've given to the tune of a total of 10 million shillings to support the athletes. That's 5 million shillings in cash as well as 5 million shillings in kind, which is in form of airtime and connectivity, so that while they're in France they can stay in touch with loved ones at home and with their families, as well as kits and merchandise to support them through their trip to Paris.
We just get these large amounts of money that comes once in a lifetime, and then we simply don't know what to do with it, or we finish it all at once. But leo tumejua what we are supposed to be doing with our money, and how we can brand ourselves as athletes, especially para-athletes.
Thank you so much for watching Bonjour. My name is Bernard Ndong.
I'm Elias Makori.
As always, au revoir.
Bonjour, brought to you by Safaricom, a proud sponsor of Team Kenya at the Olympics.